Today, our topic is existentialism versus Stoicism. What's the best philosophy? Let's dive into these two ways of thinking and see how they can help us live better lives. Both philosophies are very old, but still very useful today. They both try to answer big questions like, what is the meaning of life? How should we live? How do we deal with suffering? But they have very different answers. Let's start with Stoicism. Stoicism is a philosophy that began in ancient Greece and was later practiced by the Romans. It teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. The Stoics believe that the world is full of things we cannot change, like the weather, other people's actions, or even death. But we can always control our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. The key idea is to accept what happens and not let it disturb our peace of mind. For example, if you lose your job, a Stoic would say, I cannot control this event, but I can control how I react to it. I can stay calm, look for a new job, and not let this ruin my happiness. Stoicism teaches us to be strong, disciplined, and resilient. It tells us to focus on our inner world, not the outer world. This is very useful in life because it helps us stay calm in difficult situations. Now let's talk about existentialism. Existentialism is a more modern philosophy that became popular in the 19th and 20th centuries. Unlike Stoicism, which focuses on accepting the world as it is, existentialism says that life has no meaning unless we give it meaning. Existentialists believe that we are free to create our own purpose and values. But this freedom can also be scary, because it means we are responsible for our own choices. For example, if you feel lost in life, an existentialist would say, you have the power to choose your own path. You decide what is important to you. But you must also accept that life is uncertain and sometimes painful. Existentialism teaches us to be brave, authentic, and true to ourselves. It tells us to face the emptiness of life and still find a reason to live. This is also very useful because it encourages us to take control of our lives and live with passion. So, which philosophy is better? The truth is, both have their strengths and weaknesses. Stoicism is great for dealing with problems and staying calm. It teaches us to accept reality and not waste energy on things we cannot change. But some people might say Stoicism is too passive. It can make us ignore our feelings or avoid taking risks. Existentialism, on the other hand, is great for finding meaning and living authentically. It encourages us to take responsibility for our lives and create our own path. But some people might say existentialism is too heavy. It can make us feel alone and overwhelmed by the freedom we have. Let's look at some examples. Imagine you fail an important exam. Stoic would say, this is out of my control now. I will focus on what I can do next, like studying harder or finding another opportunity. I will not let this failure define me. An existentialist would say, this failure is part of my life story. I can choose how to respond to it. Maybe it will push me to discover a new passion or change my direction. Both responses are helpful, but they come from different perspectives. Stoicism helps us move on quickly, while existentialism helps us reflect deeply. Another example is relationships. If someone you love leaves you, a Stoic would say, I cannot control their feelings or actions. I will accept this and focus on my own growth. An existentialist would say, this loss is painful, but it reminds me of the importance of love and connection. I will use this experience to understand myself better and build stronger relationships in the future. Again, both approaches are valuable. Stoicism helps us stay strong, while existentialism helps us grow. So which philosophy should you choose? The answer depends on your personality and situation. If you are someone who struggles with anxiety or stress, Stoicism might be more helpful. It gives you tools to stay calm and focused. If you are someone who feels lost or unsure about your purpose, existentialism might be more helpful. It encourages you to explore your passions and create your own meaning. But the best approach might be to combine both philosophies. Stoicism can help you deal with the challenges of life, while existentialism can help you find meaning and direction. For example, you can use Stoic practices like meditation or journaling to stay calm and focused. At the same time, you can use existentialist ideas to reflect on your values and goals. This way, you can build a strong foundation for your life and still stay open to new possibilities. Both philosophies teach us important lessons. Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control everything, but we can always control ourselves. It teaches us to be strong, patient, and resilient. Existentialism reminds us that life is what we make of it. It teaches us to be brave, creative, and true to ourselves. Together, they can help us live a balanced and meaningful life. In the end, the best philosophy is the one that helps you. Life is not about finding the perfect answer, but about finding what works for you. Whether you choose Stoicism, existentialism, or a mix of both, the important thing is to keep learning and growing. Life is full of challenges, but also full of opportunities. With the right mindset, you can face anything and still find joy and meaning. So, take what you need from these philosophies and use them to build a life that is strong, authentic, and fulfilling. That is the real goal of philosophy, not just to think, but to live.